All right. So
Patrick's word.
now I'll start with the first question, and then just when the others pop in, I'll get them as well. What does St. Patrick's Day mean to you, and how do you usually celebrate it?
Well, at the moment, the way I used to celebrate St. Patrick's Day was it was always the first day for golf. So I used to look forward to it because that was the start of the season.
Madeleine, change your expression.
Patrick's Day was always the start of the season for golf over here, so we used to look forward to that because I never liked going into town. Well, you know, we did when the kids were young. We used to go into town and watch the parade and all that. But Madeleine, when I'd play golf, Madeleine would head off.
I used to head off with the kids into town and watch the parade. And then when they got bigger, they didn't want to go with me, and I used to go on my own. And then I ended up having a grandchild, and I brought him, and he only came in once with me. So that was my Patrick's Day.
And did I feel guilty? No. I gave her the bus fare. Oh, no, but that was kind of my Patrick's Day. Now I never went mad.
Well, can I say one of the most enjoyable things about St. Patrick's Day for me was that Shay went off playing golf and I didn't have to put up with him for the day. You know, that's about the size of it.
No.
Other than that, as a child, I was always brought to the parade by my parents. And the parade I went to see was a parade about Irish industry. And there was a float in the parade, which was a tube of toothpaste on wheels. And my ambition all my life was to drive the tube of Colgate toothpaste. This is not product placement now, but it was a tube of toothpaste on wheels. And I was just absolutely fascinated by this thing altogether. Driving down O'Connell Street, I said, who's inside it? Is it a robot? And this is in the 50s, you know, just an extraordinary thing. But it was a parade about Irish industry. There was trucks and diggers and all sorts of things. We were a kind of an emerging nation at that time. But that's what the parade meant to me. Later on in life, it was a day off.
Okay, I have to ask Joe. I know Alaskans will want to know the answer. Did you ever get to drive that tube of toothpaste?
No, because the format of the parade changed, and it became
they took the toothpaste away.
It became more carnival, and they took my tube of toothpaste away. I tell you,
I never heard that before, Joe.
A similar thing emerged with I think what's this energy drink that gives you wings?
Red Bull.
Red Bull had put a whole can of Red Bull on the top of a Volkswagen Beetle. That was the nearest thing to the tube of toothpaste that I ever saw.
Okay, I've now muted Joe and Denise. That was a great answer, Joe. I see you still. So now I'm going to move on. I was going to move on to Paul, but Paul just disappeared. Paul. Wait, Joe wants to be back on. Okay, Joe, you can unmute.
I have to say, since the tube of toothpaste has been lost to the St. Patrick's Day parade, the only thing that's green about me now is my teeth.
We need to get on to the organisers of the Patrick's Day parade and ask them to bring back the toothpaste, Joe.
All right, I'm going to move on now to the next question. Hopefully we'll circle back to Paul when he's back on camera. So let's see. I've got everybody muted. The next question is, what do you eat on St. Patrick's Day? So, wait. Before that, here comes Paul. I do want to Paul, can you unmute your mic, please, and I'll ask you a question. Paul?
Oh,
Oh,
can you hear me?
perfect. Yeah. So, Paul, I'm going to ask you a question and then I'm going to mute. So, what does St. Patrick's Day mean to you, and how do you usually celebrate it?
Well, I've done before. Time period are we talking about?
Are you
Hello?
guys hearing Paul? I'm not hearing Paul very well. You are? Okay. Joe is, and Shay and Madeleine aren't. Okay, sort of. Okay, Paul, I'm going to try you again. I'm going to mute myself.
The speaker's on. Can you hear me now? Hello?
All right, it was free. Oh, wait, I was seeing. Paul, do you have your TV on?
TV.
Turn off the TV, maybe.
Trying to see now. Turn it off, leave it on mute.
Yeah. Mute's fine. Yeah, that's perfect. So now the question to you, Paul, how do you usually, what does St. Patrick's Day mean to you, and how do you usually celebrate it? You can talk about the past or the present.
Well, when we were young fellas, we just went to, we lived in Dublin, so we went in that way, and we used to, possibly Shay, Saint, the local golf club, and around in the golf club. Can you hear me? Hello? I don't know what.
It's breaking up. I'm going to unmute everyone. So I've tried to unmute everyone. Can you guys hear Paul?
My internet.
Yes, but he seems to be frozen.
Yeah, my internet. So only got 5 meg.
Yeah.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Paul lives in a land far, far away.
Yeah.
Where the load of sheep. A load of sheep in the backyard.
I only,
Following around with mobile phones.
So
I
Paul,
have Meg.
Somebody has interfered with his cables.
we'll come back to you. I keep waiting to see if Paul's will come through. I start to hear him and then it doesn't. Paul, we'll come back to you then at the end of the next question and see if it'll work, okay?
Can you hear me speak?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't
Have a very, very. We only have 5 of internet. Internet out here. Very bad.
He's like a robot. Sounds like a robot.
He is a robot.
Okay, so we'll try with the next. We'll try with the next question, and then when Paul gets a good connection, we'll try to get Paul's all the 5 answers at once. So
take your computer outside.
Way outside.
All right. So we'll go on to the next question. What do you eat on St. Patrick's Day? So we'll start with Shay and Madeleine.
Oh.
I can't remember.
Shay and Madeline?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll start with you guys. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
What we normally cook is corned beef and cabbage and mashed potato. That's our dinner for St. Patrick's Day.
That's an hour. That's every Patrick's Day. I'm not looking forward to it. Same crap every year. Have to love her.
Perfect. Perfect answer, guys. Okay, I'll move on to Denise and Joe. So, guys, unmute your mic. Denise and Joe? Denise and Joe, unmute your mic.
Trying to have it now. We have near enough the same as Shay and Madeleine, except our corned beef is bacon, cabbage, and ham. Oh, bacon, cabbage, and potatoes, and turnip.
And this year, hopefully, if we get out of this lockdown, I'm going over to Madeleine.
Joe likes corned beef.
and she might make an apple cake as well.
Oh, I can't hear you, Natalie.
Thanks, Denise. I'm going to move on to Paul now and see if Paul can come through this time. And Paul, I'm going to ask what you usually eat on St. Patrick's Day. So go ahead and unmute Paul. Paul, can you hit the unmute? Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hear me now?
Yeah, go on, Paul.
It's saying my internet is there.
Can you say it one more time, Paul? We didn't get it.
The question.
What do you usually eat on St. Patrick's Day? Yes, Denise. Yes.
Ask him to write it down and show it to you on a piece of paper.
Yes. Do you have a piece of paper where you can write down your answers, Paul?
We have similar corn.
He's having corn.
That's a favorite here. Corned beef and can be a favorite for us too. In fact, I had it today. Probably get you for the Patrick's Day.
So I have a question for everybody based on your answers. And everybody can unmute for this. Is corned beef and cabbage special for St. Patrick's Day, or is it for any day?
Well, it could be. We have. But it is a favorite, and possibly bacon.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually Irish meals, or maybe even a coddle. I don't know if your coddle is. Coddle.
Well, I tell you what, Joe is going to go to Madeleine, and I'm going down to Paul's for the coddle.
I'm going to Madeleine for the corned beef.
You're welcome.
And I'm going down to Paul for the coddle.
I'm going out for a game of golf.
No, you're not.
I'm hoping.
Not going.
If I'd have known that years ago.
You're not allowed, Kate. Not
No,
allowed.
Madeleine.
All right, now I'm going to ask the next question, and I will start. I'm going to mute everyone except for, would any of you like to go first this time? I keep picking on Shay and Madeleine, but would anybody like to go first?
Try Paul again and see can you get
Paul? Okay, so Paul, I'm going to go first for you. How do you think they celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Alaska?
I've never really thought of it. I'd imagine very coldly. I'm sure they would eat a fish. Is fish a hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello? I've gone mute. Hear anything? No sound.
Okay, so I'm going to move on now because, Paul, we got your answer about fish, so that was really good. I'm going to move on now to Shay and Madeleine and then Joe and Denise. So Shay and Madeleine, how do you think they celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Alaska? I'm asked to unmute you, so you guys need to unmute.
Unmute. Are we there now? Yeah. I'd imagine they wouldn't be standing. I don't think they'd be standing in line and waving at a
Parade.
a parade. It must be freezing over there. So maybe in a pub, looking out the window, waving at all the stuff going by and waving flags. What do you think?
I'd say they'd be skating down the snow.
Yeah, I never thought of it
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
What would they be doing over there? But I'd imagine like with the snow and that, I don't know. Very difficult. Well, compared to what we'd be doing, totally different.
Can't hear.
Okay, moving on to Joe and Denise. How do you think they celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Alaska?
Well, in actual fact, if we had been able to travel last year, we would have found out what was going on because we were meant to be in Alaska for St. Patrick's Day last year.
I presume they have a snowball fight.
All right, great answer. So now we're going to move to the next question. Actually, Alaskans you'll see the answers what the Alaskans give, but it's all like the rest of the US with the green beer, going to the pub, looking at the snow, not going outside, maybe having some fish or skating, but really a lot of corned beef and cabbage too. And that's the only day of the year Alaskans eat corn. It's the only time of year you can buy corned beef in the US. In places like, Okay, so now the next one, I'm going to start with Denise and Joe and then move on to Paul and then Shay and Madeleine. So Denise and Joe, how will you celebrate St. Patrick's Day this year?
Well, I have decided, and I am organizing a little get together on our road for the neighbours. And we're going to come out at 2:00 on St. Patrick's Day. And we're either going to have a glass of wine, a gin and tonic, cup of coffee, cup of tea, and sit around for maybe half an hour, depending on the weather, and just enjoy meeting our neighbours. That's what we're doing.
Great answer. Okay, now Paul, I'm going to move on to you. So unmute Paul. Oh, yeah, unmute Paul. Paul, you have to press the unmute button.
Am I in live? Okay. Yeah, me. So, last couple of years, I've been playing Patrick's Day. It's a big competition for golfing season. Can you hear that? And our golfing year, when we play golf club, starts at Patrick Field. Our started, and we would all probably go out in the garden or buy some shamrock, and we'd have a big sprig of it. Everybody would have a big sprig of shamrock on their lapel or in your hat when you're playing golf. Am I getting through? And so basically down a few points later so that's generally now that we're getting over the Patrick's Day.
Okay, it was starting to fade there, Paul. So, but I got a lot of the good stuff there. So you guys make it sound between Shay and you. It sounds like everybody golfs there. So,
Yes. Yeah.
So
our
Shay,
season starts on Patrick's Day.
So now Shay, I'm gonna unmute you and Madeleine, and I'm gonna mute Paul. And it looks like Tommy and Ann have just joined. Hello, guys. I'm going to mute you just really quickly while Shay and Madeleine answer the question then. How will you celebrate St. Patrick's Day this year?
Well, I think this year, the fact that we're in lockdown, I'd imagine we just see the grandkids and our own children, and just have a little get together. Other than that, you can't really do much more,
We'll walk the dog. We walk the dog in St. Anne's, but we do that every morning.
So we might stick a bit of shamrock on them. Other than that, that's it. We can't make any plans this year, unfortunately, but so be it.
Okay, that's great. So now I'll move to Tommy and Ann. Hello, guys. And
Sorry, it took me so long.
oh, no worries at all. Sorry, I didn't get the link into just now to you. So I'll backtrack and ask you guys a couple of questions. So first, I just want to ask you, how do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day? And then I'm going to ask you two more questions, okay, after that.
Yeah, how do we normally celebrate it outside of pandemic times? Yeah. Well, when Andrea was young, we used to go to the parade. But then in later years, we go down to Wexford, to a place down about an hour from here, and we're usually down there for Patrick's Day, and we go to the pub in the evening, and we meet loads of people there. That's more or less it. But this year, last year, and this year, we just, it'll be a normal day. I've lost you. I can't hear you.
What do you normally eat on St. Patrick's Day?
Corned beef and cabbage.
Tell her about it.
Which apparently is a New York Irish tradition, I learned last week. I can't hear you.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so
Okay.
sorry, I keep forgetting to unmute myself. How do you think they celebrate St. Patrick's Day in Alaska? Again, to Tommy and Ann.
How do we think they celebrate? Is it,
Well,
I don't
they
know.
would celebrate it more in the Irish culture than we would,
Hmm.
because we, I mean, most the lads, the Dublin lads, would celebrate the Irish culture on a kind of a more regular basis. So they wouldn't just celebrate it one day a year, you know. So Patrick's Day would be more or less a normal day, you know, for them. So I'd say they celebrate it more in Alaska than they do here.
Yeah, I think it's celebrated more everywhere else.
Okay, guys. Now let's see. How will you two celebrate St. Patrick's Day this year?
Well, I think it'll be a normal day.
We walk the dog.
Like Shay and Madeleine, we walk the dog. We're hoping if it's nice and sunny, we might be able to sit out in the garden. But other than that,
We get corned beef and cabbage.
And a few beers. And if there's a bit of Irish music on the TV, we'll watch that.
All right, I'm going to unmute everyone now and throw this question out there to, let you guys have a free for all with answering it. So, yep, we just still need Paul to unmute. Perfect, everybody's unmuted. So, who was St. Patrick?
What's the
Oh,
slave?
Joe.
Here, the Parliament.
It's a Welshman.
He's the man who brought Christianity to Ireland.
Yeah,
And I
from
think
Wales.
he started his life as a slave in Ireland. And the Shamrock came with the Holy Trinity, with his Christianity. The mystery of the three persons in the one God. That's about my knowledge of St. Patrick.
Oh, that's very
Very
good.
good,
And
Joe.
Joe?
of course, there's a saying that he got rid of the snakes out of Ireland.
Yes.
Well, a lot of the population of Ireland will dispute that.
Not a lot of snakes left.
There's
Yeah,
still
there's
quite a substantial amount of snakes living still here.
Most of them in the government.
Oh.
Other than that, everything is grand.
Very cynical.
All right, so now one by one, I'd like for you to just say Happy St. Patrick's Day with all the enthusiasm that you have for the day. So whatever that might be.
No, no, we don't do that here.
Give her green balloons.
Natalie, who are we saying Happy St. Patrick's Day to?
You were
I
saying
haven't
this to
had
the
a pint of Guinness in 2 years.
you were saying this to the poor Alaskans who are starved for some entertainment in the snow. Look at that! Tommy and Ann are ready.
Hey.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
One more time.
Hang on 2 seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna mute everyone except Tommy and Ann so I can get that again with just you guys, and then I'll unmute everyone again. Okay, so I'm muting. All right, Tommy and Ann.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
That was perfect. Okay, I'm unmuting everyone else. Who wants to have a go now of Happy St. Patrick's Day? Shay and Madeleine?
Happy
Happy
St. Patrick's Day, everybody.
Up the green. Keep the shamrock flying.
One more time, Paul.
I said, Happy Patrick Cade Meal Fun to all those people who don't. I presume.
Okay, so we got a few words from Paul. I'll unmute Denise and Joe now, and it looks like they've unmuted themselves. So ready to just say Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody in Alaska.
August Slante.